Why is orientation locked? I don't know why that is. Okay, so apparently orientation doesn't work. No, I'm live. So I'm sorry. I have a towel in my head. I just got back from washing my hair. Let me see if I can do this. Let me see if I can do this. Sorry, it's kind of tilty. Ugh. Why? Oh, I can't. Okay. Okay, so that's the best I can do. Where's the cup? Where's the mug? Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first official live episode of Anime and a Mug. Usually these will be on Fridays, but today it's going to be on Sunday, because shit happened and I couldn't get to it on Monday and Friday. I have my mug here, and it's actually very, very full. So, see, there's a lot of shows in here. So, we're going to be here a while. I don't usually drink Pepsi. I don't like Pepsi. I don't like Pepsi, but I have a Pepsi. So, there's that. Before I start, I just want to make an announcement because I know I mentioned this. I might be moving some of my content to Rumble. As you guys know, YouTube has been getting more and more and more strict with its bullshit and how, I wouldn't be able to say that like in the first 6 seconds of the video, and I can't, I have to try and watch my language and stuff like that, and I don't want to be restricted, Not only do I not want to be restricted, but also I feel like YouTube trying to cater itself to children is a bad idea, because in my opinion, children should not be on YouTube. So I might be moving some of my regular videos to Rumble. It depends on my channel growth, and it depends on how things play out with YouTube in the foreseeable future. Also, the God, what was it? The top 10 best and worst of 2022 anime is still coming. I just haven't made it yet. I should have made it by now, but I haven't yet. So I just want you guys to know that that's still coming. I'm sorry I haven't gotten to it yet, but it's gonna happen. Don't worry. I also might remake the top 10 best and worst movies list, because there are some movies I forgot, but in retrospect, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna remake that. I don't know if I feel like it. But for now, we have the mug. I've started the shorts. There's still one short I haven't made yet. Actually, two. 2 shorts I haven't made yet. I think it's 2. Maybe it's more. I think it's 2. But I haven't started the short yet, ordered those shorts yet, so I will. But most of the shorts, the first episode is up. So let's just dig in and see what we come up with. Corey, I don't know. The Ice. Oh, I didn't watch this one because I just decided, A, my plate was too full, and B, I didn't feel like dealing with this show because it kind of, looking at it, I just realized this show didn't interest me. So that one is out. Ours no Kyoju. Oh, okay, so Ours no Kyoju is the one where they hunt beasts. But for some reason, there's also like a plot about a little girl who is a weapon of some kind, and they're trying to find this girl, and she's like running through town, and she lights people. It's really disjointed, and it really doesn't make a lot of sense, and it really makes you feel like they're trying to tell 2 stories on top of each other. The art is also kind of blah. I might give it a couple more episodes to see where it goes, because it might, who knows, maybe it could turn out to be amazing. but probably not. Probably it's gonna suck. But I watched the first episode and I was just left thinking, I have no idea what's going on in the show. I don't know. I legit do not know. Did they play an opening? I don't think they played an opening. So we don't know what the opening or the ending is. So that might be something to look for to see if it's any good. But anyway, moving back into the pot. Revenger. Oh shit! I still need to do one. I still need to do a short for this one. So Revenger is the story of a guy who, or a group, because I don't know if that guy from the first story is the main character, who are hired assassins, and they're basically sent to this guy's village, and there is a lot of bloodshed, and I will give it that. I think the premise could work. I think the idea, because it reminded me of the Snow, oh god, what was it? This Snow Woman, the one from last season, the one where the song sounded like Alley Project, but it wasn't Alley Project, and it wasn't even written by them, which is very weird because it genuinely reminded me of them. Oh god, what was it? And it's the one where her brother is like, she doesn't have a brother, and then she does have a brother, and then he's dead, and then he's alive, and then she works for this group. I don't know. It reminds me of that a little bit. But basically, there's a girl. The kills are the coolest part of the show. I will give it that. The way they kill people is really freaking cool. Like, the one girl uses a kite, and I think there's a guy who suffocates people with the face, and it's really interesting because they don't use traditional swords. The main character of the episode used a sword, but none of the people in the show used a sword. And I think that could have some potential for some really interesting kills. The plot was not very deep. He wanted revenge on his father for something. I don't remember what it was. And it somehow involved his fiance, who ended up killing herself. The plot isn't very deep. But at the very least, the idea is interesting, and the kills are imaginative. Like not the kill specifically, but the way they kill people is very, very imaginative. Yeah. So I'm willing to give this show a few more episodes because I want to see where this goes. And I still need to make a short for this show. Ayakashi Triangle isn't out yet, at least I don't think. Oyukaina is not out yet, I don't think. Iceblade Sorcerer. Okay. This is another show. I took the towel off. I'm sorry, my hair looks kind of weird, but I took the towel off. This is another show where the idea is interesting, but the execution is lacking. Very lacking. And basically, the idea is that, let me see if I can move it so that I can see if I can charge my phone a little bit. Can it reach? No, fuck, it cannot reach. Can it reach if I put it over here? No, shit. Okay, I might have to do this by hand because I need to charge my cell phone. Let me just see. Oh, shit. Okay, so, I'm sorry, I know I'm pausing, but I need to charge my cell phone. Sorry, I know the camera's turning to the ceiling, and I'm sorry about that, guys. There we go. And I hope And I hope it charges. I hope it keeps charging. So, Ice Blade Sorcerer. Let me see. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry if the angle is a little bit weird. You know what? No, I'm gonna move it away from the light because the light's gonna... Ugh, crap. Let me think, because I need to charge my phone, but at the same time... Ow! Ow, I just scratched myself. Ow. Ow. Okay, let me see. Oh, I know what to do. My hair is just going ballistic now. There we go. Let me get my thing. Let me get my thing. Sorry about that, guys. Let me get my thing. And my thing? Okay. So, Ars no Kyoju, not a good show. Oh, no. Ice Blade Sorcerer, not a good show. Not a terrible show, but a very, very, very boring show where not a lot happened. I do like the premise. I like the idea that he's looking for this spy in the academy, but mostly it's just it's very telegraphed when you realize that he's the one who you know that he's the seventh sorcerer. You know that he's the Ice Blade Sorcerer, like, immediately. Not just because it's given away in the title, but because they make it very clear. I wouldn't mind that so much. It's just that not a lot happens in this show. So, I wish this show, I wish it luck. I wish it luck. I hope it, and the other thing about this show is I was having trouble watching it because the site I was using, it wouldn't load the episode, so that's kind of a sign that maybe it wants me to stop. It's kind of a sign that it wants me to stop when the episode just won't fucking load. Won't load. So, there you go. Next one. I'm closing my eyes this time. Endo and Kobayashi Live. This is interesting. So, the premise of the show is that Endo and Kobayashi are two teenagers who have the ability to somehow talk to the game characters. Like, they're playing an otome game, and for some reason they get the ability to talk to the game characters, and what's really funny is that only one of the characters can hear them, so everybody else just kind of thinks he's tripping balls, and it's actually really funny to see them look like, what the fuck are you talking about? What's wrong? What are you doing? Like, it's actually really funny to see their really confused expressions, like, are you okay? The heroine, the characters don't have a lot of personality, but if they do something with that idea of, you know, them being able to talk to the characters and them being able to influence decisions, that might be interesting. I might enjoy that. I also like the fact that, you know, normally in otome games the main character is a girl, so the fact that one of the main characters is a male is kind of neat. It's kind of a play on, it's kind of a subversion of expectations, because, yeah, male otome gamers exist, but normally when you think of visual novels, you think of female gamers. Normally when you think of, you think of female gamers. So the idea that one of the gamers is male is actually kind of cool. The only thing I don't like is the fact that their side group, like their real world co-workers or whoever they're with, they don't add anything, and it's not fun when you, it's not fun that they spoil who Kobayashi and Endo are almost immediately. Like, it would have been a lot funnier if you never see them, so you don't know what they look like, and you just hear these two voices having chatters, and nobody else can see them except for the one character. That would have been a lot more interesting to me. But, it is what it is. And I do wish they'd cut out the stuff with their side, whoever else is in the real world. It also gives me an idea for something that I'm gonna write, but I won't talk to you about that now. Let's see, what else? Eiyu Densetsu. Is this Legend of Heroes? Because I didn't actually watch this. I didn't watch because I realized I didn't watch this because I don't know these games. And maybe I won't have to know these games, but I'd really rather play these games first before watching it. But yeah. So that's another one out of the pot. Let me see. Apparently Disillusioned Adventure. Oh! The Ningen Fushin. Okay, so the premise for this is that the main character, much like Naofumi from Shield Hero, has been removed from his party because they set him up. Well, they say they set him up to be, what is it? They say they set him up as a thief, but we don't really see that. What we really see is that they decide that they don't want to work with him anymore because they don't like his attitude and the way they don't like the way he does things. And his girlfriend just suddenly breaks up with him. So he ends up at a bar, and he ends up with these 3 other people, and we don't know really what happens with the one girl, because the dragon girl, we see that she says something important was stolen from her. I'm assuming it was someone, but I don't know, because they don't really go into that a lot. The cleric, who, Eric, is a young man who was confessed to by a young girl, and I must admit his reasoning for not rejecting her kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because this is clearly an underage girl, and and she literally tells him she wants to go out with him, and he's just like, oh, I'm dedicated to my work, and I'm thinking that's not because you're too young for me. No, because at least he rejected her. I will give it that. I will give it that he said no. So I'm willing to let it go. I just, for some reason, that rubbed me the wrong way. But at the very least, he rejected her, which is not common. Normally, which is different for shows like this, but yeah, he rejects her. So of course she comes back and accuses him of being inappropriate with her, which means he gets driven out of his workspace. The cosplay girl, who apparently is a sorceress, she is set up by the woman who her fiance clearly was fucking behind her back. I don't know how else to put that, but he's cheating on her, and because they make it very clear that he's cheating on her, but she gets put it's set up by that woman for bullying, because that woman claims that she's bullying her. And so they all end up in this bar, and they're all kind of venting, and they're all like, people, you can't trust people. And I like that premise. I think it's a much deeper and more nuanced look than most isekais were given, because the main character isn't really overpowered. He's just he's average, basically. He has powers. I'm not even sure this is an isekai. I'm not even sure. Did he translate? I don't think he is. Actually, I don't think this is an isekai. I think he's just in a magical world. But I don't know. So they basically end up deciding to form a party together. And I am so here for this, because it gives us a lot more depth than you normally get. I do agree with other reviewers that the stories are kind of rushed through. But at the very least, it's something. And it's more, and most of the episode is spent with setup. So we don't really get to see them we don't really get to see them as a group, because most of it is spent with their backstory. And that's pretty much it for that one. That one is pretty much it. Where's the side here? Isekai. No, Kinka. What? Oh, so I think this is the Saving 8000. And the only reason I watched this is because, as you guys know, my favorite seiyuu is Jun Fukuyama, and I have this rule that if he's in something, I'm going to watch at least one episode until he shows up, which is the only reason I'm watching Tsurune, because that show is boring as piss. And this show is boring as piss. And not only was this show incredibly boring, it is ugly to look at. It's not the worst looking show I've ever seen, but the show looks like it was made in 2006. It's so basic, and majority of the episode is spent with her wandering through a field, walking around. It's just, and apparently her family is dead, and we see her getting pushed off a cliff by some people, and I don't care. I will give it this. It's boring. I'm not going to watch any more of it, but at least when she dies, it's not through any fault of her own. Because normally they get hit by a truck, they get overworked, they trip and fall. But no, she's literally murdered. She's murdered. She's actually murdered. Which would be an interesting idea for an isekai series, She's murdered, and she has to figure out how she died. I'd get out of the world. That would be interesting. But, let me see what's next. Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch from Mercury. I have to admit, this last episode kind of surprised me. Because, and they were doing a second course, so I am willing to include this in this one because they're doing a second course. I didn't realize it wasn't going to go straight back to back. I didn't realize they're waiting till April. But, this last episode surprised me because up until this point, I was very bored with the series. Nothing had happened. The characters just kind of meandered around. And now we have a plot. We have the series villains who want to for whatever reason, destroy the school. We have the war. We have the fact that the one girl, whose name I don't remember, is a co-conspirator, and she gets caught by her friend, which should be an interesting setup for later down the line. We have the main character, we have the macho guy who ends up having to kill his father, and doesn't realize it's his father, and that's gonna fuck him up. We didn't get to see a lot of the creepy one in the past couple episodes. So there's been a lot of setup, and I hope it goes somewhere, because some of the setup is actually pretty good, but we're halfway through and just now we're getting a plot. Also, I don't know if anybody noticed this, and maybe it's just me, but I am a little more than a little bothered that the only dark-skinned character, like Shadiq has a very, very traditionally Middle Eastern sounding name, and he's dark-skinned, and he is one of the terrorists. Like, I don't know if that was intentional. I hope not, but oh my god. Oh my fucking god. That's so unfortunate, and it'll be funny to see if that's brought up at all. And Miyane, the other, I guess they are fiancés because they're engaged for marriage. I don't know. I think my favorite thing though is the fact that the main character, who I've been calling not Ruby, her name is Suletta, but that's not her real name, but I'm not going to spoil that. And she just casually murders someone, and the other character is like, oh. That should be it. What I'm trying to say about this show is that it has a lot of interesting setup, and I really, 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 really hope like hell it goes somewhere, because it could be interesting, but at the same time, it could also not be. It could also be like, I don't know. Next one. Pulling through. Rondo of a Reincarnated Princess. Okay. Positive notes. I like the main character. I think she's fun. I love how chaotic she is. This is one of those shows where I know it's going to go nowhere. And it's just going to be episode after episode of them doing nothing. Except, and there's going to be no plot. But at the same time, I am kind of interested to see if something happens, because I like the main character. I like the initial, I forget what I forget, hang on. Let me get my phone, because I forget what the actual conflict is. Actually, never mind, because this is my phone, and I am using it to record this. Oh, damn it. I will look that up by the next time we do one of these, so that I will know what the conflict is, and I will be able to properly discuss that show. Next one is Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War. I'm slightly impressed by this show, because the last couple episodes, they went into Ichigo's backstory about his mother, and that's the only part of the show I was engaged with, because his mom apparently was a Quincy, and we found out, that she was killed trying to protect her family from a Fullbringer, and that was something interesting. That was actually something that happened, instead of, and the captains are training now, which is actually kind of nice, because it's nice to see they're not just going to go that Ichigo gets to be the hero, and only Ichigo can be the hero route, because I was really afraid that this show was going to do that. I didn't even make jokes for the last two ones, because I don't know if I'm gonna watch any more of this show. Let me dig back into the pot. Spy Classroom. Okay, I think the show is, the title is kind of a lie. And the premise, not the title. Why did I say the title? Fuck. The premise is kind of a lie. Because the premise is that these girls are washouts and he has to train them in order to make them better spies. But that's not the premise. The premise is that he wants to teach them how to be proper spies. And so he basically does, it's the same thing as Assassination Classroom, except not stupid somehow. Because they don't have any looming risk. Like they're not they're not gonna die. Which is something I never understood about that show. So if the moon was gonna blow up at the end of this period, are you saying the only reason that it was going to blow up is because he was going to blow it up? Why couldn't they just pin him and be like, okay, we won't kill you if you don't blow up the moon? I don't understand that. But we're not talking about that show. I did not like that show. The show is kind of interesting, in that they try and outwit each other, and I like the banter. I like the fact that, he knows he knows what's coming. He predicted what she was going to do, and he was able to counter it, and she was saying to him. I like that. The thing is, none of the girls have enough personality for me to really fully care, except Meadow. Meadow is adorable. Oh my god, Meadow is so cute. I hope nothing bad. I really unironically hope nothing bad happens to Meadow, because oh my god, Meadow is precious. And I think Meadow is probably the one who's going to be able to talk to animals. Probably Meadow is Fluttershy. Meadow is Fluttershy. Meadow is cute. Other than that, I hope it goes somewhere. I just don't necessarily know if they're going to actually be able, because they'll have to do this mission at the end of the time they're together. I don't know what this mission is or why I should care. I hope they elaborate more. Bungo Stray Dogs 4. I watched this out of curiosity, and I have to say that at the very least, this looks like it's going to be a prequel. One of the big things that I don't like about Bungo Stray Dogs, and one of the things that bothers me greatly about this show, is that it's heavily predicated on the use of superpowers, and I honestly think the superpowers gimmick is so unnecessary. It just completely bogs the show down. So I like the fact that this, or at least this episode, maybe not the whole season, but this episode focuses on Ronpo, who I did not know was 14. He does not look 14. He does not look anywhere near 14, but apparently he's only 14. Like, the show says he's only 14. Which I'm having index flashbacks, so wait a minute. How are you only 14? You look like a grown man. Oh my god. And he's voiced by someone who doesn't even slightly sound like a teenager, who isn't even slightly believable as a teenager. But it's about Ronpo, and I really like that, because at the very least, Ronpo does not have any superpowers, so we get to focus on something other than the powers for once. And I like the deduction idea. I like the fact that he was able to deduce that guy was a murderer, who was the actual murderer. I'm curious to know who the twin gun is, and I'm curious to know how the rest of the agency fits into this. Also, we now have a new opening, which ironically is sung by the Seiyu for Atsushi, which is awesome, because oh my god, Yuta Hayashi has an amazing voice. But this season, or at least this couple episodes, is going to be about the founding of the Armed Detective Agency, which should be cool. Next one. Trigun Stampede. Oh my god. Okay. You guys know that Trigun is one of my favorite anime of all time. In fact, if I get the chance and I'm able to figure it out, I'm absolutely going to do a live watch of Trigun, because that show is amazing. That show is absolutely phenomenal. And I went into this show so hoping that I was wrong and this show isn't going to suck. First of all, this show is not a sequel. It is a reimagined, which doesn't even make any sense because the show itself was finished. Like, Trigun, the original, was a complete story from beginning to end. And I guess part of me hopes that apparently it was way more in-depth in the manga. Like, the anime version is watered down. It's still great. I don't know what they're trying to do with this show. Is it because it's not a sequel? Because it's restarting Vash's story from the beginning. It's not a prequel because it starts from the same place the original basically did. Maybe it's a reboot that's gonna follow the manga, but according to a lot of people, no. According to the creator, no. So what is it? What is the purpose? Like, we've already had this story. We don't need this story again. If you're gonna redo this story, redo it. Make it more like the manga. Don't just reboot the entire... It's so confusing. The CGI, in my opinion, is extremely ugly. It's not the worst I've ever seen, but it's very janky to look at. Characters' movements are very weird. It's kind of blocky, and it doesn't look right. It looks very unnatural. I don't have a problem with Sakura Ando as Meryl. I actually think she does a pretty good job. When I say what I'm about to say, I want you to know, because this is not knocking him as an actor. I love Yoshitsugu Matsuoka. I think he's amazing. I think he's an extremely talented seiyuu. But something about him as Vash just does not sit right. I don't know if it's because Masaya Onosaka is still voice acting, so I don't get why they didn't just pick him again. I don't know if it's because Yoshi is very loud, and actually, you know what? I think that's the problem. I think that Yoshi is very loud, and his roles tend to be very spastic. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. Very bombastic and very hammy and over the top. And well, yeah, Trigun can be very kind of over the top. It's not to the level. He just sounds annoying, honestly. I love him, but his Vash just sounds really fucking annoying. Just like really irritating, and I wanted to make him stop. Like, please stop. Please stop screaming. And something about it doesn't work for me. His voice doesn't work for me in this context. And I preface that because I know I'm going to let a lot of comments, but how dare you? He's just amazing. He's an amazing seiyuu. Yes, he is. He's an absolutely incredible seiyuu, and I'm not knocking that even slightly. So please, do not take away from this that I don't like him as a seiyuu, because I love him as a seiyuu. He's one of my favorites. He's not my top 3, but he is one of my favorites. I think he's amazing. He just doesn't work in this role. I wanted someone with a little bit smoother voice. I really wanted someone with a flatter, smoother voice. Maybe, you know what? Kensho Ono would have worked really well. He would have worked. Someone like that. But overall, I don't think this is necessary. I don't think Trigun Stampede is necessary. I'll keep watching it, mind you, because Trigun is amazing. The other problem with the show is that a lot of people say it spoils the mystery. That's not the problem. The problem is because you already know that he's Vash, and because everybody knows that he's Vash, and that he's the humanoid typhoon, it doesn't just take the mystery out of it, it takes the fun out of it, because part of the fun of the original series is that they don't think he's the humanoid typhoon because he's so stupid that they're like, no, this person cannot be him. This cannot be the same person. And in the original version, the drawing looked completely different than him. The way he was drawn just looked nothing like him. So I don't understand why it is that they immediately just spoil, yeah, that's him. It's him. And it takes a lot of the fun out of the show, especially considering he's a lot more stoic in this version, which is weird to me because a lot of what made him fun is that he's a doof who's just kind of a moron. Also, the thing with the helicopters and the shooting one, that was dumb. I'm sorry, that was really fucking dumb. That was so stupid. And I just sat there thinking, really, that's what you're gonna do? Maybe, I forget if this is an adaptation of the first. I might go back and watch the first episode of the original series because maybe it's the same thing. I don't know. But we are going back. There aren't that many shows left. Welcome to Demon School. I'm gonna level with you. I am struggling to remember why I keep watching the show. I think it's because Amy was in the opening. I don't know why, because he's not in the season. This season is extremely boring. I thought the idea of them being in a jungle and them having to actually contend with outside forces would be interesting, but no. It's basically, you know that one plot line from Total Drama Island where they sent them into the jungle and they had to catch eggs? And the one where they had to go collect ingredients, it's basically that. Except Total Drama Island was a parody, and you actually had a villain who made the season fun. I miss him. I miss Scott so much. But anyway, you had a villain that made that show fun. And this show, I don't think every show needs a villain, but I honestly think this show needs a villain. Because it's, without a villain, and without something to challenge them, nothing happens. It's just 20 episodes of running around collecting ingredients, and it's not interesting for me. It's very boring. Oh! I actually did write this. I admit I thought I had not written Tomo-chan as a girl down. I admit, I literally did not think I was going to watch this show, so I didn't think that I had written this show. There are actually a couple shows that I forgot to write down, but I'll get to those in a minute. But I did not think this is one of them. I legit thought I hadn't written this down because I wasn't interested in it. But you know what? Kohei's in it, so I think that's why I wrote it, because Kohei Hamasaki is in it. And he, as I said, he is one of my favorite seiyus. He's on my, the top 3 seiyus, the top 2 are must. If he's in them, I have to watch one. But the third one is Ayumu, and he changes my mind slightly. He sways me, but for the top 2, I have to watch shows with them in it. Here's the thing about this show. I went into it thinking I was going to absolutely hate it, because I looked at the premise and went, this is not interesting to me. This is really dull. I don't like this idea. I think it's really boring. I was surprised how much I enjoyed this premise. There is one thing that bothers me, but I'll get to that. Basically, the premise is that Tomo is someone who is very Genki and very tomboyish and has always been viewed as not even viewed as a male. I don't think they think she's. It's not just that some people think she's a boy. It's that some people think she acts like a boy. Some people think she is a boy. And she wants to be more feminine. And she wants to impress because she's in love with her childhood friend. And she wants her child to notice her as a girl. And her methods are going about it are actually kind of adorable because she's so not used to being viewed as a girl that she doesn't know how to react. Like, she'll get really flustered if he's trying to eat lunch with her, and she'll start freaking out because that's not really something she's used to. The only thing I don't like, and this is something that detracts me from the series, is it comes across, and this might just be me, I don't know if other people view this, but this might just be me, as slightly sexist, that everyone thinks that because she's not feminine, she's automatically male. Like, I know plenty of girls. I'm a tomboy. I love anime. I love shows with stuff that blows up. I watch shows like Blood-C and love it. And I think like the goriest show is humanly possible. I like slasher movies. I don't love NASCAR. I love watching NASCAR because it means that stuff goes boom. And that doesn't mean I'm not a girl. That doesn't mean girls don't have to like dainty girly things. And I'm a little bit bothered by the fact that this show equates feminism, only equates feminism with being female. It's not bad. I just hope I'm just slightly bothered by the fact that it's doing that. I'm also bothered by how much in 2023, we need to stop this thing where shows, you do something I misunderstand and I punch you. Can we please stop doing that? Because violence is not necessarily. It's bothersome to me that we're still doing this. I can kind of, in this show's case, understand. Because Tomo has always been viewed as a boy. And she doesn't know how to react when he does things like get close to her or put his hand around her waist. So her first reaction is to lash out and smack him. And I get that. I just wish the show would make it more clear that it's a gray area for me. It's not a bad show. I will give it that. It's not a bad show. I like it. It just, that prevents me from loving it. But I like it a lot more than I would have normally. But there are two shows which I realized I didn't put in the roster, and I should have. First of which is, actually no, 3, because I watched the second season of, what's it called, Misfit of Demon King Academy, because I wanted to know what Mal sounded like. And I will admit, I do appreciate that they're actually giving us the plot now, because the first season was basically just, hey, we need to train these kids. Okay, send them out for a game. They played like 3 different fucking games of Capture the Flag in like one season, and it got very boring very quickly. So I will admit, I do appreciate that they're actually giving us a real premise other than Capture the Flag and oh hey, Capture the Flag and Mal killing people. And my immediate, I want to hate it, but I don't hate it because I do like the idea of Mal, Anos. I'm torn on this. On one hand, I like actually, you know what? No, I don't. I changed my mind. I'm sorry. I don't get why he had to keep it a secret if everybody's just going to be okay with it anyway. If everybody's just going to be like, oh, Mal, we love you. So, why were you keeping your identity as the Demon Lord a secret? Why? Because clearly you're incredibly attractive. You have very strong magical powers. You're good with people. You have very strong. You're very good at what you do. So why are you keeping your keeping it a secret? Why? We're now looking for someone called the Child of God, who I'm guessing is going to be one of the 2 new students. The littler one is adorable, but I don't know why. And I'm guessing they're going to fuse together because they come in a pair, and that's what happened last season. But that's another thing entirely. We're now looking for that, and we now have actual villains, and everybody split up to fight these individual battles, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that instead of stalling with more training or more capture the flag, we're just jumping right into it. And we're... What happened? Oh. So there's that. There's the fact that, he's now having to contend with the fact that the teacher, told everybody that he was the Demon Lord, and the ramification of that, and the fact that he is looking for this being called the Child of God. And the villains have kidnapped this one girl who I don't really know who she is. Like, I will admit, I don't know her as a character, but they basically kidnapped her, and they, or maybe no, well, I don't know, maybe it's the teacher. They've kidnapped somebody, and they're trying to get to this girl, so that's where we are at this point. And the last one I want to talk about is, Sugar Apple, well, actually, no, there are 2 more. I'm sorry, I keep stumbling. I keep trying not to stumble over my words. Sugar Apple Fairy Tale, that's a mouthful. First of all, the art is gorgeous. I love the art. I think it's very pretty. I like their designs. I like how distinctive. The one thing I note about the show is the thing, and I know this is going to be a stupid takeaway. I can no longer say that Sugar Chara has the hottest anime character I've ever seen. I shouldn't say that anyway because he's a teenager. So I shouldn't say that anyway because he's underage. He's underage, so I shouldn't say that anyway. But yeah, no. He's not the most attractive anime character ever anymore. No, that girl goes to Shaw. Oh my god, is Shaw fucking hot. And Shaw's grown, so I can say that with impunity and not look like a terrible person. Shaw is hot. Like, really, really hot. And I like the fact that in this show, basically, the main character decides she wants to go to this place. So she buys a fairy, but for whatever reason, he's full grown while all the other fairies are littler. I don't know why, but he is. Of course, she's attracted to him because I'm real world and I'm attracted to him. So she. And he keeps flirting with her, and he keeps fucking with her, and he, and he's just like, look, I don't want anything to do with you, I don't like you, but, boom, like you, and he's being kind of intentionally flirting with her, and he's like, look, all you have to say is you want me to fight these people, and because they get attacked by a group of raiders, and it's bloody. It's actually bloody, and I'm impressed how bloody this show was. I'm impressed with how gory this show was. I'm sorry, I should keep looking at the camera because I keep looking away, but I'm impressed with that. And he is like, you need to tell me to fight. And she's like, no, I don't want to tell you to fight. And she's like, I will not fight these people. He's like, all right, you don't want me to fight? Fine. And he's flirting with her while he's doing this. It's really funny, actually. And she's finally like, fine, just fight these people. And he goes and he pulls out a sword. And oh my god, he looks amazing with the sword. And he just obliterates these people. And she's like, oh. Because, of course, why would you think that a fairy... It's cheesy, it's stupid, but it's actually kind of fun. He's really hot, and he keeps like leaning, and he keeps doing that thing which I love with guys, tsunderes, where he keeps leaning into her, and he's like, and he keeps keeps leaning into her, and she's like but anyway, that is Sugar Apple Fairy Tale. She's trying to get to this kingdom. I don't know why. I forget why. I actually think they explained it, but I forget why. But she's trying to get to this kingdom, and she's and she hires him. He's hot, and they also do explain. I like the fact that they explain that in order to keep the fairies subservient, they strip off their wings, or they strip off one wing. They don't strip off both their wings. I'm curious to know if they explain what happens when they strip off both their wings. But they strip off one wing, and she's like, I'll give you your wing back. And of course, he's not trusting of her. And he's like, yeah, okay, sure. Because he's been in servitude to like, and he says, I've been in servitude for like 70 years. What the fuck makes you think I'm going to trust you? And I get the sense that they're going to play more with her naivety. Like, I get the sense that this is going to be more about her learning that people are not as nice as she is. You know, she's telling him she's nice. She's telling him, yeah, oh yeah, I'm going to strip off your wing, and he just doesn't believe her because, you know, why would I believe? You've never done that. Nobody's ever done that before. But anyway, servitude with fairies, interesting concept. I hope they actually make it clear that, and they made it clear that this is not okay. They made it clear that the only reason she did this, I'm trying to be nice because I know they're doing the, oh, you know, this person is a slave owner, but she's totally nice, you guys. But I do think there's some interesting concepts here. And the last one I want to talk about today is Buddy Daddy. Buddy, at least I think that's the last one. Yeah, so Buddy Daddies is the story of two guys, and they're assassins. And they're tasked with taking care of this little girl. And it sounds stupid, but 5 minutes into the episode, and they're having an argument about childcare in front of a mobster. And I'm just like, oh, I'm going to love this. I'm going to love this. This is so fun. And of course, she's adorable. And they rescue her because she's trying to find her dad. And they rescue her from this group. And I have a feeling that's going to become important later, where she's trying to find her dad, and I'm guessing he's one of the people they kill. But it's cute. It's not a lot right now. It's not a very deep concept, but it's them. I'm trying to pull this to a minute. It's them talking about. They're raising her while balancing being assassins, and of course, one of them is very, very spunky, and one of them is very quiet and very reserved, and the reserved one just kind of sits in his room all day and plays video games and doesn't you know, and he buys a cat. Oh my god, he buys a cat. And the other guy's like, why would you buy a cat? We're assassins. We can't keep the cat. And he, of course, leaves the cat in an alley. But I have a distinct feeling he's going to go back and he's going to, like, rescue the cat because the cat is really cute. And the cat looks like Morgana from Persona 5. I've never played that game, but I can tell you the cat looks like Morgana from Persona 4. The cat looks like, or the cat looks like the cat from Persona 4. And what else is there? Oh yeah, there are 2 more shows coming out, so I should have 2 more shows for all next week. Happy 2023. It is the new year and we are starting. If y'all have anything you want me to watch, or you have anything you want me to talk about, please let me know. I've decided probably, I know at the beginning I said I was only going to do live streams and stuff possibly, and I've decided that probably I'm only going to do anime related content, anime and cartoon, because that's what I'm doing. That's what I have been doing. I did an episode of Monster High. I'm gonna get back into Monster High. I did an episode. I haven't started the Umbrella Academy yet. I haven't started that storyline. So I'm probably gonna move that to Rumble. My Rumble is in the description if you guys want to see. Are we at? Yes, we are at a minute. We are at an hour. I try to keep these streams to an hour if I can, because I want to make room for other content. I'm going to keep the old stuff on the channel. I'm going to keep the old stuff hooked up to the channel, so you guys don't have to worry about that. But y'all can find me on Rumble with other content. Was there anything else? I'm going to work on getting a better live stream picture, because I want a better picture for my live streams. But that is it, I think. Yeah, that's it. That's all there is for now. So I will see you guys next week. I will probably start game streaming pretty soon in the future. I just haven't gotten to it recently, so I apologize. I'm not gonna play Borderlands 2 again, because that was very janky and I was having problems with loading, so or that was having freezing problems. So there's that. But I can't think of anything else. That's it. I will see you guys very soon. And this has been the first live episode of Anime in the Mug, so